I think sustainable home constructions are the new dot-com bubble in a way. And I will show you the math, how to start with $1,000, $5,000, $10,000 and how to end up with hundreds if not millions of dollars within a few years. It's in a way like the dot-com bubble. It's a thing that we kinda know it will happen, but we are not prepared for it, and I want to show you the math. So I want to tell you something that you already know, however, you're not realizing how deep is the problem or like the solution. Again, I'm saying nothing new here. If you build a sustainable construction, like everywhere, that means you don't have to pay the BS, isn't it? Yeah, but not that's the big catch. So owning a house that won't cost you money, like year by year, that's great, like absolutely perfect. And I will speak about that, how to do it, like the architecture and the engineering part in every video on the channel. I'm about that. So please subscribe. If you want to make houses that produce more energy than they consume, that means you're in a great place. But within this video, I want to talk about something that we don't think about. And it's like so simple. And it's not an intuitive thing, and it's a thing that we overlook. Speaking about hundreds of thousands of dollars, or we are speaking about millions, we have to speak about the land. And the logic is like plain simple. The catch, why a sustainable home construction could worth a fortune. And the upcoming part will be kind of boring, like 1 minute, but afterwards you will see the logic. So let's see, there are like different types of lands, like different stages. And I will try to explain it in a short way. So let's say you buy the off-the-grid terrain for $5 per square meter, let's say, or foot, doesn't matter, you just have to see the ratios. And the second they put electricity on it, so nothing changes, you will be able to sell it with 15. Sure, I'm still talking about sustainable home constructions, but you will see the math. It's like not the fun part, but you will see the fun part will come here, and we are arriving there in a minute. I will promise you that will be like the extraordinary great part, but you have to know the basis. So the part when you have the concrete roads, the same terrain will cost $25. When you have the water in it, it costs 15, then they build a town, let's say then it costs $70 per square meter, the cinema appears, then it's 100, the airport 120, and let's say that when the first metro comes, the same terrain would cost like $200. And here's the catch. Here's the part that you won't agree with me, and even I'm not agreeing with myself, but just for the sake of the example, stay with me for the second and think outside of the box. In my standpoint, to buy a land with $5 and waiting for electricity, or to buy solar panels with own money, that means it's kind of easy, isn't it? Like you don't need, maybe you rely on yourself, or maybe 50 persons who go to the mayor's office in a little town and say, oh, we have 50 houses here, we want electricity, and they will say, oh, no problem, we'll make it for you. Or you just go and like buy some solar panels at Alibaba. So let's say it's cheap. Then the concrete roads, so the terrain from $15 goes up to $25. It's kind of an easy task, it's like not that hard. However, convincing persons to start to build towns, cinemas, airports, metros in the area that you bought the land for like $5, $10, $15, it's like harder and harder and harder, and in my standpoint it's unreal. That's why persons buy terrain when they are already persons there. And my logic is, where to buy terrain when the city will arrive. So when you buy the off-the-grid land with $5 per square meter, let's say, and you sell it with 15 when you have the electricity, that means you make $10 profit per square meter, isn't it? When you buy the land with the electricity on it with $15 and you sell it when they start to appear near you with the concrete road, that means you can sell it with $25 and you made $10 profit per every square meter. Like, sure, it's like a simplified version, but with that logic, we made 10, 10, 25, 20, 30, 20, and $80, isn't it? But that's not the real profit. The real profit is something totally different. And here comes the catch. Here's the way that you can make millions. And now we're talking about that. The real profit is the following. You had $1 and $1 made how many dollars? It made 2, it made 3, it made $0.4, it made 20 cents. So let's see. So if you bought the off-the-grid land with $5 and you sold it with 15, that means you sold it 3 times more. So every dollar it made $3. So I'm explaining again, probably some young kids are watching. So if you bought the land with $5 and you sold it with $15, you made a $10 profit per square meter, and you sold it with triple the price. So that's a 3. Okay, we are going further, and sure, that's a simplified version just to show the big picture. When you bought the terrain, the second version, when you bought the electricity, like the terrain with the electricity, with $15 and you sold it with $25, that means your profit, it's a 1.67. So that means every dollar that you invested, it will bring you back $1.67. And so goes out. See, the other one is making you $2, 1.4, 1.43, 1.2 and $1.67. So what's the best deal? Everybody would say the best deal is here. When you buy a terrain in a big town when it has an airport, and you sell it when it has a metro. Sure, like it's the most stupid example, I did it like on purpose, but see, like the profit here would be like $80, sure, but it's not. The only thing that matters is like how many dollars you can make with $1, and the flawless winner is like that. And sure, the idea is not like, oh, you don't have to do nothing, because you have to actually know what happens near you. You have to know what the government wants to do. You have to know where they want to put electricity. You want to know like where the people tend to move. But if you can do that, that means you can do the following. So look, from the off-the-grid land that you bought it from $5 and you sold it with 15, maybe if you're informed, you know the mayor in the little town, or you just heard it in the news, they will put electricity in the valley or like that zone, or you're just smart and you order it from the internet and you buy the solar panels. That means in every like 1 or 2 years you can do that catch. So your land from €5 or like $5, it will worth 15. Let's say from the switch from the electricity to the concrete roads, you buy a land and you know, oh, in that area probably they will make a concrete road because it makes sense and it's kind of a must. Maybe you can predict like 4 years earlier that it will happen, so you buy the land because you know it's inevitable to go there. So it's kind of a fast thing. Let's say with the water you can predict like 6 years earlier when they will put the water pipes. With the town it's like harder, because when you buy a land, it's not like you're buying it and the next year like 10,000 or 20,000, like 30,000 persons will move there. So probably you know where a big city is like moving, or is the big city starting to grow or not, and yeah, if it grows, probably you will have to wait like 10 years to do so. The first cinema maybe like 15 years. From a city that has a cinema to have an airport, maybe, sure I'm exaggerating or not here, but I want to show you idea. The waiting time could be like 40 years. Look, now I'm living in a town that has 300,000 persons and we have an airport. Will we have a metro in my lifetime? Probably. Till I will live, I will never have a lifetime, so I'll put a waiting time for the switch like 100 years, but probably it will be more. Probably we'll never have a metro. How many times can we make the trick? So in 10 years, here, we can do the trick 5 times, because in 10 years, we can divide it with 2, that means we can do it 5 times. Here, 2.5 times, 1.7, 1, 0.7, 3, and 0.1. So the real profit is, like we are coming back here, like $1, it makes you $3. However, we have to think about the time. Sure, I give $1 and I give back $3, but how often can I do it? Because if I can make like $0.2 but every second, I will choose that deal, because in like a day or two I will make millions, isn't it? So here, that's the catch. So we're making $3 from $1 every 2 years. So that means in a 10-year period we are making $15. In 20 years from $1 we are making $30. And in 30 years we are making $45. Yeah, we have to do it the flip a few times, but from $1 we make a $45. And I'm not getting to everything or every aspect of it, but with the last one, when we were waiting from the airport's land to sell it when they have like metal, that means in 10 years we'll make from $1 we'll make a 0.2. So basically we are not even making back our money. So that's a really bad deal. The good deal is here, when we buy cheap and we sell cheap and often. So look again the math. If we have $1 upfront, that means with the first version, in 10 years we'll make $15, in 20 years 30, in 30 years 45. And with the others, basically we make like a zero. And okay, like probably we want to invest more than $1. Let's think about $10,000. Wait a bit, yeah, that's $10,000. So here, in 10 years, we made back, wait a bit, $150,000. With $150,000, I can make a bet that we can buy a land and we can build like a big house on it, isn't it? And I'm not even thinking about doing that flipping for like 20 or 30 years. And $10,000, it's like pocket money compared to the real estate investments. Let's say what that means with like a bigger number. As a rule in Europe, most houses, like flat apartments, cost like $100,000, $120,000, and usually you have to have like upfront like 30% of it. So let's try with the $40,000 that you have to have upfront. That means if you're not putting that money in the bank, like you're not using it for that, and you're using for investment to buy land and then flip it and make money with it, that means with the first version, in 10 years, you'll make, what's that here? What is, I have to put my head near it. Yeah, it's right, $600,000. And I calculated here in millions, like $0.6 million. I know it sounds crazy and it's not a promise. It's not like, oh, if you follow that, like it's a promise, you will make that money. I just wanted to show you the logic. So if you had like $40,000 upfront, and sure, it's like a simplified version, you have to pay taxes when you sell, you have to do this and that and that. But the main idea is like $40,000, it's not $600,000 or like $1.8 million if you make it for like 30 years. And it's flipping, you basically don't have to do a thing. You just buy a terrain, keep it 2 years, when the electricity appears, you sell it. Then you buy another land without electricity, you know where they will put the electricity in that area in like 2 years, and you sell it. And you keep rotating it every 2 years. We have to do like one movement, nothing else. And sure, you have to pay taxes. It won't be like $2 million, it will be less, but it wouldn't be like 60,000. Let's see what happens if you had like $100,000. Wait a bit. 0, 0, 0, 0, 0. So with $100,000 within a year, I'm cheating because that's the same number, but I put it in millions. You can make 1.5 million. And sure, let's say without taxes and you have like ice cream money in it, but in 10 years you can make $10 million here. And you couldn't do that till now. Do you know why? Because you couldn't get away without electricity, you couldn't get away without like the water, and you couldn't get away with the internet. But now we have the Starlink, let's say from Elon Musk. We have system that will purify your water. I made a lot of videos on the website, not the website, on the YouTube channel, and I put up on the website as well, like blueprints how to filter the water. And there are like a lot of things about how to build houses that produce more electricity that they consume. So that means now in the last, not even 15 or 20 years, the last 5 years, it's like really simple to build houses that produce more electricity, water or resources that you actually need. So in that way, buying the land with the best view ever in places that for now nobody wants it because it's near a city or it's like between two bigger cities that nobody wants now because it's kind of further, it has a potential. I think about the virus, like I don't want to be mean here, but I'm kind of that person who wants to see a good thing in every bad thing. So sure, like it's a bad thing the virus happened, persons are dying, but the only good thing here is that I see that's the only good thing that happened here, that persons started to be able to work from home. So many times you don't have to go to the crowded city, you can work from everywhere. So you can buy a land, like not 10 minutes, 20 minutes or like 30 minutes from the big city, you can buy a land from 2 hours or like an hour and a half from the city. That means you can buy it for the pennies. Solar panels, you build a water filter system, you build the water storage, and the second, the land, not just the house itself, but the land worth more. So the whole real estate will worth even more. Probably some of you know it and some of you don't, so I explain like, let's say my father is the type of person who would rather die to take a loan from a bank. And I totally get it. And I don't want to convince nobody to get a loan from the bank. And you can use the money like wisely. Because some persons can, and most persons who are like in the real estate investment thing, they use other persons' money to do so. So listen to the logic, even if you don't agree here. I will tell you like the logic of it, like why it works with some. Let's say you buy a land, and the land is yours. And you go to the bank and say to the bank, hey, I have this land, it costs like $100,000 or like $10,000, it doesn't matter. And you say to the bank, I want to build a house on it. And if something bad happens, you can take my land, it's not a problem. The bank won't be happy about it. In their eyes, the houses have value because they can rent it out anytime because there are persons who want to pay the rent and they can sell it to somebody who will rent them out. So if you have a house, that's value for the bank. If you have land, there's no value for the bank. So the second you can buy a land without a house, you can build a house on it. Let's say you buy the land for $5 and you build a house on it that actually works. The house, like the banks, doesn't care about the circumstances. They just care, oh, he has a house, he has a land, he has electricity. They don't care about the idea how you have electricity, how you have water, but they know that the house can make money because they can sell it, you can sell it, or you can rent it out. So that means instant, that house or like that land, especially the land, from a $5 investment per square meter will worth $15. See my logic here? So you buy a land, you build a sustainable home on it, let's say you're ready in 4 months, and the second, just because of the land itself, the whole real estate tripled its price. Sure, you needed to have the money for the land, and you needed to have the money up front probably for the house, for the first investment. But afterwards, you can go back to the bank and you say them, look, you give me, let's say I'm just telling like an example, you give me like $100,000, and with $100,000, I made a lot of money. I have like real estate there now. It doubled or tripled the price. And I have a place that I can rent out or I can sell. And please give me more money. And comes the other catch, like the wave on a wave. The banks won't tell you like, yeah, but you bought the land with €5 or like $5 per square meter. And your land, like that? No, they will say your land $15 and your house costs like a lot. See the logic? The bank doesn't care. and it's so they will give you, let's say, 70 or 80% of the money that they think that the whole land and area worth. So that's kind of a printing money if you do the math. So that's one thing. And on the channel maverickmansions.com, I will teach you guys how to build sustainable houses and how to make sustainable home constructions. I will speak about what to do on the windows, what to do on the rooftop, what to do and how to build actually premium houses, even with a budget of like $5,000 per room. And the houses could be like any type, shape and size, and I will talk about that on the channel, so consider to subscribe. I have some blueprints on the website as well, Maverick Mansions, and it's for free. You can check it on the website, and I recommend you to consider to subscribe to the YouTube channel as well, because I will show you how to build premium sustainable home constructions everywhere, from cold climate, hot climate, jungle, desert, you name it, I will show you. So that was today's video, and hope we'll meet each other in the next video. And I have one question here. Please, if you like the video and you made it for so far here, please like, comment or like the video below, because it helps me tremendously. Like YouTube works like that. If there's some movements below the video, it will say, oh, probably like it's a good video, and it will start to promote it even better. So please help me out here. Again, that was today's video, and consider to subscribe.